quarter after Cat went to the bench. Knicks, 25 points to Sixers, 9 points. Field goal. Knicks shot 11 for 21. Sixers shot 3 for 15. Field goal percentage. Knicks shot 52%. Sixers shot 20. Turnovers. Sixers had 5. Knicks only had 1. And then, on top of that, in this game, he was on limited action, 16 minutes, 10 points, 2 turnovers, a -6 on the court. Dog, you fouled out? How?
Yeah, how?
How do you... I was watching the game, and they put it on the screen, and it said, Karl Anthony Towns, 6th foul, fouls out. I was like, oh, hold on.
Well,
I was like, how long did he play? I go, how long did he play? I look at it, 16 minutes. I was like, are we fucking serious? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Chris Nagulik, alongside my co-host, Dom Savino, where we will be discussing the week that was. The Mets go from worst to arguably first in a span of a week, while the Yankees are shockingly content with their current roster. Super Bowl Sunday is set, while the Knicks finally defeat the Sixers on Saturday. But does that win actually make them look worse, not better? We will answer that alarming topic in a bit. But first, do me a favor, take a seat.
Let's talk.
Dom, let me ask you, how much shoveling have you done so far?
I got a snowblower, brother. I'm good. I'm good, man. Thank God.
That's huge for you.
Thank God.
That
Don't
is
have to do
huge.
much. Yeah.
Thank God is right. Yeah, I shoveled 2 hours yesterday, snow, made a nice exit way from my car, showed back up yesterday, or I should say this morning, and it's like I never touched it. So talk about getting screwed and just royally fucked immediately the next morning. So that's how I started off my morning. But how was your weekend aside from the snowstorm that hit New York on Sunday?
I mean, it was cool, just sitting in on the weekend and watching some football. Haven't done that in a while. Just didn't have anything to do. Just sat back, relaxed, and watched some games. I mean, it did suck, the Broncos and Patriots game, with one team not having their starting quarterback, and then the terrible conditions that happened in the second half with all the snow and the wind, and it was ugly. But hey, I mean, Patriots are going to the Super Bowl, and I mean, the Seahawks and Rams game was pretty good too. So a little bit of a rematch, Super Bowl rematch, Patriots Seahawks. We'll see who wins. How about you? How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. I mean, I walked in the snowstorm. It wasn't too bad. I mean, the streets were just covered. Um, worked Saturday and Sunday. Work was a bit busy. I mean, honestly, Sunday was dead. I was only there for a little bit. I just had to do some bookkeeping, financial work, and that was it. Saturday was honestly not as busy either. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was madness. People just, coming in, freaking out, you know, thinking that apocalypse is going to hit and the world's ending. The Mayans ended the calendar, and that there's, no other days left. And 2026 gone and done. People are just losing their minds out here. But other than that, weekend was good. Football games were good. New England game, I mean, Denver, New England, I expected it to be a pretty uneventful, I would say, type of game. Very much of a defensive game. But that Seahawks game was great, back and forth. But other than that, it's really it. Snow came. What did we get? 8, 10 inches of snow? I
Yeah.
mean, freaking nuts. But yeah, weekend was good. Weekend was good. Just like you, aside from working for a few hours in the morning, didn't really do anything else. And Just stayed in, watched football, and that was that. So
Hey,
yeah,
I mean, the mayor got it right, you know, what do you say, 3 to 17 inches? He got it right. Good for him. He's smart, man. He's a very smart man.
3 to 17. It's one way to go.
Yeah, it's a great
One way to
estimate.
look at it. I
Love it.
like yeah, I like the weathermen, the weather people, they do their weather report in the morning and they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be 30 degrees, sunny with some clouds, possible rain, sleet, snow, hail, thunderstorm, hurricane, tsunami." So that they
Blizzard.
cover all the bases so that if any of that happens, they say, "Hey,
Told
told
you.
you so.
We told you.
We told you. Be prepared, get ready for it. It's coming." So, oh well.
Good for them. Good for them making their
Exactly.
money. All
Yep.
that money they're making.
Not even get into it. All right. Well, that's the intro for you. Now we're going to start off with the MLB because, I mean, not so much the Yankees, Dom, but the Mets did a lot in a span of a week. But you could start off, I guess, with just the Cody Bellinger acquisition. I know we did a live episode last Thursday night when the Mets traded for Freddie Peralta, and you talked a bit about Cody Bellinger. But I don't know if there's anything else you want to add so that we kick it off here with the MLB.
I guess just people who don't know, he re-signed for 5 years, $162 million. The lineup is exactly the same as it was last year. I don't understand why they think they're so content with this. Yeah, we got Jazz back. There was rumors of him getting traded or something like that. Now we have Anthony Volpe, who hopefully will be fully healthy. Aaron Boone that had a little bit of a press conference and he said, he's just defending the Yankees organization because he really has no say in anything. So he's like, yeah, it just comes to a point where you just got to say, yeah, that we're good. That we feel good about our team. I mean, I don't expect anything less out of him because what else is he going to say? He's literally a puppet. I've been telling you guys this from the beginning. He is a puppet and does nothing, and I don't even think he's allowed to do anything. So, did we get better? Did we get worse? We're right in the middle. We are the exact same. I mean, we got some pitching, and we're hopefully Rodon will still have a bounce back year. Well, another year of bounce back, I'd say. 2 straight years of good from him, hopefully, and then I don't expect much from Garrett Cole coming back from Tommy John, and then later on, I'm gonna have Clark Schmidt. And then obviously, hopefully, Cam Schlittler doesn't have a second year or sophomore slump, as they say. And there's a lot of what ifs with this team. We don't know what's gonna happen with the farm system. George Lombard Jr. Is he gonna be rotting there? Spencer Jones, is he gonna be rotting there again this year? Or is he gonna be in the outfield? Is Jason Dominguez, is he gonna get traded? Or he's gonna stay in left field, even though he did improve later in the year when it came to his fielding. We don't know what's gonna happen. Is he gonna be a DH? What's gonna go on with John Carlos Stanton? Is he gonna play 5 games and then be out for a month? And this, that, and the third. We still have a lot of questions, and I'm not confident with this team, and I don't think any Yankee fan is.
Yeah, I was telling my mom's friend last night. I was like, it is so upsetting what the Yankees are now. And again, as we've said multiple times, almost ad nauseum on on this podcast, on every episode, Dom, this is just not what our childhood was.
Nope.
When George Steinbrenner was around, he wanted to get as many people as possible. But again, let's not forget something. And this is something maybe I had said once, maybe not. It made sense now. Okay. At least it makes sense to me now. It made sense to me back then. For people who don't remember or don't know, George Steinbrenner, Hal Steinbrenner's father, passed away in 2010. Derek Jeter became a free agent for only the first time, the only time in his career. What year was it, Dom? I think it was 2010, 2011, when he signed that 3-year, $54 million deal. I think George was not, I think he said I think Derek Jeter said on a podcast, George Steinbrenner was not around. And it was Hal
No.
Steinbrenner running the team. He told Hal and everybody at the Yankees front office, this last, or really, frankly, only free agent stint, and this last time I'm going to be agreeing to a contract with the Yankees, I don't want it going out to the public. And Dom, what the fuck happened?
Went public.
Went public. So that should tell you everything right there, because I guarantee you, okay, bet my life savings on it, that George Steinbrenner would have done everything in his power to make sure that didn't go out until spring training. Because, of course, if he's there, then okay, yeah, he signed. But it came out way before spring training. And that contract was never supposed to be leaked. From that point on, every Yankee fan should have recognized there is a lesser owner in the building and things are not going to be the same, and for the wrong reasons.
Even
And
though yeah, like, even though George, he was very tough. He was tough on everyone when it came to players, when it came to coaches, when it came to scouting. Every single thing had to do with the franchise. He was strict, and people respected it. But also, he respected the players' wishes as well. And yes, he did know that it was a business, obviously, which was, they're one of the most successful businesses, sports franchises in the world. He treated it like that, but he also treated it like a home. He treated the franchise like your second house. As much as, families fight, but you still got to get down to business. But there's also a personal side to it too. And with Hal, it just seems like it's all about business. It doesn't seem like he's really forming any relationships with anybody, when it comes to the players, at least. I feel like the only real relationship that he has is with Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman,
mhm.
and he cares way too much about the money. Uh, you say, "Oh, he's still complaining about COVID and having to pay 100 and something million every February 1st." George had to do that too. So, what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
You're still making hundreds and millions, or if not billions of dollars certain years. So, why is that a problem? And he
Don't
just
know.
has no connection, at least not like George, with this franchise, and it's a shame that he's even running it still, but we can't do anything about that.
Right. Correct. Everything that you said is spot on, because Hal Steinbrenner is very much just focused on the money, and he's collecting whatever revenue gets generated for the Yankees, and he's satisfied. Frankly, I feel like more than satisfied with what they have on the roster and what they've done, and they're just holding on to the American League being so weak, and just saying, you know what, that's good enough. But there are teams, as you said already, Dom, that are getting better around the Yankees. The Orioles, the Red Sox, these teams are getting better. And even the Blue Jays are still great, even
Blue
though
Jays are still
Bobichette
good.
now, yeah, even though Bobichette came to New York. I mean, the teams around the Yankees are getting better, and they're just staying pat. For what? And I've already said it. I said it about an episode or two ago that Aaron Judge is not getting younger. He's only getting older, and you're wasting his prime years. And now this upcoming, whatever it is, April, May, whenever his birthday is, he's going to be 34 years old. And it's getting a little ridiculous that Hal Steinbrenner is more than satisfied, extremely content with what he's got, and that's just not right to you, Dom, as a Yankees fan, and everyone else who roots for the Yankees. So I don't know. It's I always wanted a Subway World Series. I want the Subway Series this year to be good. I still think it's going to be juiced up, but I feel like it'd be more amped up if the Yankees had made a couple more moves.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say before I start with the Mets?
I don't even wanna talk about the Yankees at this anymore.
No.
Oh, they make me sick. They make me sick, man.
I gotta tell you, man, in a couple months we will be literally
No,
2 months from yesterday,
no, I
start of the season.
enjoyed as much as I could for right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, sorry, buddy. All right. So now I'm gonna get into the Mets, and I have a quite a bit to say. So I'm gonna say this first. In the months of November and December, the Mets looked extremely hopeless, just lost out of their shoes the first 2 months of the offseason, November and December. They lost Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers, lost Pete Alonso to the Orioles. They signed Jorge Polanco to try to have him replace Pete Alonso at first. Traded Brandon Nimmo to the Rangers for Marcus Semien, who just turned 35 in September, but did win a Gold Glove. But his last couple of years, his bat has regressed. Unfortunately, maybe it'll come back this year. Who knows? He just got ranked fifth best second baseman in the MLB. A little shocked by that ranking, but hey, listen, I'll take it. Traded Jeff McNeil to the A's. Within those moves, they acquired Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, previous Yankees, as Dom knows. So those four new players are good, but no one was sold on the Mets yet. People were rumoring saying this isn't good enough. What the heck is David Stearns doing? He's wasting all this time. He's, laying back on his laurels and saying, okay, what I've done so far is good enough. And fans are getting worried. And I'm putting myself in that conversation, me included. I was a little concerned on what David Stearns was actually looking to do here, what he was looking to put together for the 2026 season. And so fans did not see the light at the end of the tunnel, again, including myself, and wondered what the plan was going forward in this long winter offseason, right? David Stearns essentially said, hold my beer and watch this, idiot. And he went 1 week and totally changed the Mets fans' thinking and attitude towards the 2026 roster, right? Okay, they lost Kyle Tucker to a foolishly lucrative deal. I mean, I don't know why in the world you would give a guy $60 million AAV, $60 million per year for someone who has been rumored to not give a shit enough about baseball, looks more at social media posts than the scouting report before games, doesn't have that kind of motor, which Dom has gotten into last week. Okay, all of this was rumored going around. The Mets went as high as 55 million. So really people have to stop this antic of, oh, well, Steve Cohen and David Stearns are not willing to, prop up the money and take it out of their pocket to pay for big name guys and really look to spend. Steve Cohen has been spending since he got here. He traded for Francisco Lindor back in January 2021, literally 5 years ago. Can't even believe it's already been 5 years. And he extended him immediately. Okay, and I'm going to mention the word extension a little bit down the road here in this rant, but Steve Cohen has spent money. And people have said, oh, well, he's just focused on the casino, looking to make money from that. I've already given my take on that episodes ago. You can go back and look at it. I even made a snippet regarding it, too. I mean, thinking that Steve Cohen only cares about the casino is just blasphemous to me. But again, they lost out on Kyle Tucker, 4 years, $240 million. They then quickly pivoted and acquired Bo Bichette, stealing him from the Phillies, as I said in the prior episode. That made me feel real great, I got to be honest. 3 years, $126 million. Then they traded for Luis Robert Jr., who is a defensive wizard in center field. He has the potential to be a 2023 type player again with what he did, 3 seasons ago, but we don't know. And yes, I was not an advocate to trade for him at the deadline to even get him now. But he's here. He has potential. He is talented. He can steal bases. He can defend. But he has his injury history, and he's got to try to be healthy. But I do believe and trust in the Mets medical staff that they can get him right. So that's another one. And then they traded for my coveted starting pitcher, Freddie Peralta, who I've wanted the Mets to get since September. And they even got Tobias Myers, which when we were live on the episode, Dom, me and you didn't really know much about this guy. I totally forgot that he pitched against the Mets in the 2024 Wild Card Series, and he looked fantastic. So he is by no means a throw-in. And after doing some highlight watching and statistical analysis, he is actually a great acquisition as well, alongside Freddie Peralta. So giving up Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams, I think, was more than worth it to get a frontline starter. We'll be talking about Peralta and Valdez a little bit more here as well. The thing is, too, I would look to extend Freddie Peralta before opening day. He has proven that he's durable. He could pitch in the postseason. And let's be honest, the Mets need to they need to lock up somebody going into this potential lockout, and off season, and getting a frontline starter and having him extended before the offseason starts is, I think, got to be at the top of their list to get done. We don't know what this lockout is going to be. We don't know how bad it's going to be. We don't know how long it's going to take for these owners and players to come to an agreement on a new CBA. So I think it's best. I know people are going to say, oh, well, give them time to adapt to, the New York Mets and let's see him pitch or whatever. Guys, you also do have to go off the basis of, hey, look at his numbers. Look what he's done the last 2, 3 years. His durability, having all those strikeouts, right? Had the most wins in the National League last year, pitched to a 2.7 ERA, pitched great in the playoffs, made the All Star team last season. When, again, as I just said, Steve Cohen traded for Francisco Lindor 5 years ago. He didn't exactly waste much time extending him, and people could have went crazy saying, "Oh, let's see him play a little bit." But no, nobody was saying that because of his statistical numbers from the years prior in Cleveland. Well, it's the same thing here. And I agree with Joe DeMayo on the Mets pod. I don't want to be dealing with this shit in the offseason when we're already dealing with trying to hurry to get everybody signed before the CBA expires and they got to start agreeing on a new one. I want this guy locked up ASAP. I want them to get it done. I don't care if it's a day or two before opening day. I don't even care if it's on opening day. I do not care. I want this guy locked up for 4 or 5 years after this year. I know that David Stearns doesn't like pitchers to have contracts where they're, approaching 34, 35 years old. I do get that, but your rotation has not, it certainly didn't prove anything last year. So you're going to have to try to get this guy on a contract extension ASAP. And there's also no guarantee that you're going to get Tarek Skubal. There's just no guarantee. Okay, everyone's going to be clamoring and rushing to sign this guy. He's going to request a lot of money, and it's just no guarantee, especially with the Dodgers in play for everything. There is no guarantee that Tarek Skubal is going to be coming. So if I'm David Stearns, I'm looking to lock up the guy. I would give him a 4-year, $120 million contract extension. That's what I would give Freddie Peralta. Dom, would you agree with that number?
I'd agree with that. And also the Yankees, they even checked on Terry Skubal as well, and they said it was too much. But when it comes to the Yankees, God only knows what's too much. It could have just been Spencer Jones, and that's it, for all we know.
That's true.
But,
That is
you
a
know,
good point. But but though that comment, it was too much, it actually for everybody, it was too much.
yeah,
They
yeah,
wanted way
yeah.
too much from the Mets. It was. They wanted way too much they wanted, like, their whole farm system practically. They wanted their best guys from the farm, and the Mets were like, "No, we're not gonna do that. That's ridiculous." So, it's not a guarantee they're getting Tarek Skubal. I would love to have him, but I would just focus on extending Freddie Peralta. I know people wanna see him pitch first, but I got news for you. When the season gets going, guys are focused on the seasons, and you know what they're gonna start saying? "I don't know, talk to my agent."
Yeah,
And now you can't talk to the player. Get it done before opening day and make sure that this guy can't go anywhere else but stay now here in New York. So that's that. Next thing, Framber Valdez. I don't really care what many people say. I agree with Anthony DeComo on SNY when he was on Baseball Night in New York. I think he's still in play for the Mets. This guy's market is really nowhere at this point. It's January 27th. People predicted he was going to get a 5 to 7 year deal. I don't see that happening. I think at this point he's going to get a 1 to 2 year deal. And if he's looking for a 1 year deal or a 2 year deal, I'm sorry. I'm looking to bring him on board. I would sign him for a 1 year deal. It's not a long commitment. He's already 32 years old, going to be 33 by the offseason next year. I would look to bring him on a 1 year deal because he ain't getting the money that he thought he was getting back in October, November, maybe even December. He's not getting that. I don't know if people are aware, but spring training's in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow. So the offseason is coming to a close very fast. So I think the Mets should really try to, get Framber Valdez and at least talk to him for a one max 2 year deal. So that's without a doubt something that they need to really consider and look into. But all of those moves that they've done in a span of a week really to reinvigorate the fan base and to rebuild the roster. And I'm going to say this right now. I know a lot of people They look at Jorge Polanco, who clutch hitter, Bo Bichette, clutch hitter, Marcus Simeon, clutch hitter. All these guys have done well in the playoffs. Okay. I know people are looking at those acquisitions and saying, how is that going to fill the voids of Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil and Brandon Nimmo? Let me ask you
Bro,
people a question. When those guys were here, did they get anything done?
Jeff McNeil, Brandon Nemo. Come on.
Did they get a championship? They made the National League Championship Series once. They've all been here. Brandon Nimmo's been here since 2016. Jeff McNeil's been here since midseason 2018. Pete Alonso's been here since opening day 2019. Last time I checked, they don't got a ring. So guess what? Pack it, zip it, and shut it, and put the jersey back in the closet and go buy a new one. It's a new time now.
Yep.
You have to rebuild. If it don't work in 5-6 years, you have to move on. You can't keep on trucking out the same guys. You can keep on telling me whatever you want. Did they win a championship? No? Okay. So there you go. Move on. That's my answer to you. All these people practically crying in their sleep because Pete Alonso's not here. Pete Alonso has a higher strikeout percentage. Bo Bichette doesn't. Marcus Simeon doesn't. Jorge Polanco doesn't. Okay, Luis Robert does, but Luis Robert is not looked at as the savior of the team. I got news for you. The man's batting like seventh. So that's what I would have to say to you on that. The last thing that I'm going to say, or maybe this is the second to last thing. Yeah, this is one of the last few things I have to say. But David Stearns has definitely shut people up. Okay. But not me. Because I'm going to say this right now. With what I've said in the past, I'm going to make one message clear, and I'm going to say it again. David Stearns, you are a GM for 11 months out of the year. The only month that you're not a GM is October because you have your playoff roster set. You can't trade anybody. You can't get guys off waiver claims. You can't really call anybody up. The only month out of the year that you're not an active GM is October. So with that being said, do not make the same mistake you made last season. If you have to get people, for the love of God, get somebody. Don't wait until the trade deadline, even though this trade deadline coming up this year is going to be imperative as hell because you kind of blew it on the trade deadline last year. So you got to really look at what your competition is in front of you. I'm just going to say it right now. The Phillies are still the reigning NL East champs. You got to knock them off. I don't care what their roster is. The Braves are only getting healthier, and they still have their young core, so they're going to come back with a vengeance this year. The Marlins surprised a lot of people last year. I didn't think they were going to be a 500 ball club mid-August. Dom, did you? I didn't.
No.
I didn't. I mean, you remember the game against the Yankees beginning of August? I
Yes,
mean,
I did.
yeah, pretty bad. So the Marlins aren't bad either. The Nationals, they have room to grow. They just traded Mackenzie Gore, but they still have some talent there. You can't rule anybody out. So if you want your team to be in first place from game 1 to game 162, David Stearns, you have to be active and don't make the mistakes that you made last year because then it's going to cost you. And then guess what? Your ass will be out of here next year. There's no way I'm going to sit through another winter off season and have you teeter on an Excel sheet and see what exactly works best, in terms of the monetary values of players and how you can try to save a buck. Yeah, you've definitely done a good job this offseason. I still think you can make one or two more moves, i.e., Framber Valdez, from what I just said. But you still have to be an active GM. And this season's trade deadline is going to be imperative, as I just said, due to last season's debacle. So let's not make the same mistake again. So the last thing I'm going to say here, and then we will move on to the NBA, or I'll at least let Dom give his thoughts on everything that I've said before we go to the NBA. But I saw Dom on Twitter, and I bookmarked it. I'm pulling it up right now. I saw on Twitter a list of Mets top 30 prospects from 2016. Okay. Now, Dom, that when I read you this, there's going to be a lot of head shaking from you because some of these names didn't do jack shit. So number one was Steven Matz, two Dominic Smith, three Ahmed Rosario, four Gavin Cicchini, five Brendan Nimmo, six Desmond Lindsay, seven infielder Luis Carpio, eight Wilmer Becerra, nine Marcos Molina, 10 Matt Reynolds, 11 Milton Ramos, 12 Joan Urena, 13 Robert Gazelman, 14 Gabriel Inoa, 15th Luis Guillorme, 16th Ali Sanchez, 17 Akil Morris, 18 Max Wodel, 19 Thomas Zapaki, 20 Andres Jimenez, 21 Gregory Guerrero, 22 Eudor Garcia, 23 Dario Alvarez, 24 Josh Smoker, 25 Seth Lugo, 26 David Thompson, 27 LJ Mazzilli, 28 John Mora, 29 Chris Flexen, 30 Ricardo Cespedes. I mean, last time I checked, a lot of those names just ain't ringing a bell for me in terms of making impact in the MLB.
I can say
What
the
am
same
I
thing with the Yankees. I mean, there's a
right?
lot of there's a lot of players who just didn't pan out.
Exactly. And what am I trying to say, Dom, with this list? What I'm trying to say is, folks, it's okay. It's okay to trade prospects. I just read you the list. Who in the hell is Wilmer Becerra? Who is that? He's ranked eighth on the top 30. Who's Desmond Lindsay? I barely knew that guy. Seven, Luis Carpio? Who is that? He didn't make it. He didn't do anything. Robert Gazelman, that was a nice little story, but it turned out to not be. That was like a 1 year wonder. 2016, that helped them get the playoffs for back to back seasons for only what? Think maybe the second or third time in the Mets history. Akil Morris, Max Wodel, who the hell's that? So what I'm trying to tell you is prospects, as I said last week, draft picks and prospects are risks. They're all a risk. You don't know what you're getting. It's okay to trade prospects. So what they traded for Freddie Peralta, it's okay. We don't know if Jet Williams is going to be a great player in the major leagues. We don't know if Brandon Sproat's actually going to be a top of the shelf pitcher in a team's rotation. We don't know. So it's okay. You could trade prospects for a frontline starter. All these people, oh my God, they traded Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams. Brandon Sproat pitched for 3 weeks for this team. What did he make? Three, four starts? Jet Williams didn't even play on the
Nope.
major league team. What the hell? Who are you chatting on? Who are you talking to? A wall? You're not talking to me because I ain't hearing it. It's okay to trade prospects for a frontline starter.
Yes, it
And when
is.
you get the right return so your club can compete and try to win a championship, yeah, guess what? People are like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, of course it's okay. Dumbass. They won the championship. You got the right return. And with
So
all that being said, I think I'm good. Go ahead.
failed, ruined, or overhyped Yankees prospect list.
Mm-hmm.
Manny Benuelos, Andrew Blackman, Phil Hughes. I know Phil Hughes
He's all
he
right.
was good, but I say overhyped. Ian Kennedy overhyped. Clint Frazier did nothing. Gary Sanchez way overhyped. Greg Bird way overhyped. Tyler Austin way overhyped. Anthony Volpe, God only knows at this point. Jason Dominguez, as of right now, I'll give him a pass. I'll give Jason Dominguez a pass because he hasn't played as many games. He should be playing more games, but due to the incompetence of Aaron Boone, um, I'll give him a pass on that. Gleyber Torres, I always thought he was overhyped.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought he had maybe a couple of good hitting years.
Yeah, he
Can't
did.
field, can't field for his life though.
Mm,
Miguel Andujar, we ruined him. Honestly, I think it was the Yankees' fault. I don't think it was him.
mm-hmm.
The Yankees definitely ruined him. And Jorge Mateo, can't tell you who that is. Estevan Florial, we ruined him. So there's so many. There's
Yeah.
so many top prospects that we failed because either We failed them or they failed us. It's not
Mhm.
worth it. And, like, you
Yeah.
can even say, like, an example, like well, transition, I guess we'll go into the Knicks, but even Josh Hart said it, we traded 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and these kids aren't coming into the league till 2028, 2029, 2030. So you don't know how that's gonna be. You don't know how it's gonna pan
Right.
out. Not
No.
every not every first round pick is a bona fide star. So
No.
and they
No.
might
They
not
they
even
they're
play for the first few years.
yeah. There have been a bunch of picks in every league. NBA, NFL, MLB, even the NHL. These guys just don't pan out the way that, the organizations expect them to. And sometimes you gotta move players. It is what it is. But to just prospect hug, which yes, I'm a bit of a proponent on that. But if the return is right, yeah, go ahead. Trade him if the return is right. And
Absolutely.
David Stearns, he does have that kind of smarts. He did it in Milwaukee. Coming here, okay, New York's not Milwaukee, but in terms of trading prospect for good return, don't matter what organization you're running, you should be able to know what the right package is and what's not. So it is what it is. They traded prospects. They may trade more. There's still a little bit of time before spring training. People even make moves during spring training. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see how
But
it
that's
goes.
everything I have to say about the Mets.
You guys are you guys are gonna be competing for sure. I mean, also don't sleep on Atlanta.
No.
Atlanta,
God,
they're
no.
gonna be I think they're gonna be better than last year for sure.
Oh, they are.
So
They're gonna be healthier. I
and
think they're gonna be
healthier.
a lot better.
So don't
Yeah.
sleep on them either, but you guys
No.
are definitely back at the top, one of the top teams in the NL, so
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. The lineup is shaping up nicely. I mean, we have more time to talk about all the other, predictions and player predictions and lineup predictions, but yeah, that's everything from me with the Mets and Dom and the Yankees. So now that's it for the MLB. We're gonna move on now to the NBA and the Knicks. I'll list to you the two games that transpired this past week, but there's really one big topic that we're just going to be discussing for this whole entire, league segment and our rant. Right, the Knicks dismantled the Nets 120-66. I mean, that was. I mean, I Nets fans are hilarious. I mean, did they try to run their mouth and then they watch that game? I think they should really just shut the hell up, honestly. But that game, I barely watched it, watched the highlights. It just doesn't mean much to me. The Nets suck. I mean, they're terrible. Now they're even talking about trading MPJ. So that was that game. Then the next game, the Knicks beat the Sixers 112-109. Dom, I thought they were going to blow this game
me
on
too.
Saturday.
I'm surprised they even won the game.
I'm surprised they won the game. They didn't deserve to win. And unfortunately, as I said in the intro,
Yeah, there's no words. There's no words. Chris, for people who aren't looking at this, he's in disbelief, head down, scratching his eyes. He has no idea. He is disheveled from this team because they give us agita. And for people who don't know what that is, that's heart or chest pains.
it's just I just don't know where this team needs to go. And that win, it just told me actually worse things than better things. I mean, I might as well just break the ice now. Carl Anthony Towns has got to go. He can't stay here. This is
But
not the
probably
place for him. He's not a number one. He's not a 1A guy. He can't even be your second option. I'm going to read you, okay, the numbers. And I'm gonna read. I took a picture of it, and this is courtesy of SNY. The top prospect list from the Mets. That was also SNY Mets on Twitter. But from SNY, I took a picture off my TV. Knicks in the third quarter. After Cat went to the bench. Knicks 25 points to Sixers 9 points. Field goal. Knicks shot 11 for 21. Sixers shot 3 for 15. Field goal percentage. Knicks shot 52%. Sixers shot 20. Turnovers. Sixers had 5. Knicks only had 1. And then on top of that, Cat in this game, 16 minutes. 16 minutes. He was on limited action. Okay, injury, limited action, whatever. Whatever the organization deems appropriate and necessary. 16 minutes, 10 points, 2 turnovers, a -6 on the court. Dog, you fouled out? How?
Yeah, how?
How do you I was watching the game and they put it on the screen and it said Karl Anthony Towns, 6th foul, fouls out. I was like, "Whoa, hold on." I
Well,
was like,
we
"How
know
long did he
how.
play?" I go, "How long did he play?" I look at it, 16 minutes. I was like, Are we fucking serious?"
He's never gonna learn. He's never gonna learn to use his feet. He's always gonna be reaching in, or he's gonna be trying to elbow someone in the post, or driving, just literally shoving them out the way with their elbow. And he's gonna act like, "Oh, it wasn't a foul. How could you see that?" The whole world can see it.
Dom, I
No,
think we should try out for the Knicks.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I could. I can get that, like,
If Cat is playing 16 minutes, 10 points, 2 turnovers, and he fouled out, and you're a -6 on the court. I mean, if he played honestly 26, 30 minutes, he probably would have been like a -16, -26 if he actually had more minutes and he didn't foul out. But 16 minutes, 10 points, 2 turnovers, fouled out, -6 on the court. Shit, sign me up to play.
the thing is we're gonna need a lot of money because have you ever seen that dude that did that leg BBL? I think we
No.
would need to do that.
I
He
have not seen it.
he was like 5'6", this is like 5'7", something like that, and then he got a leg, they call it a leg BBL, made him taller. He's like now like 6'1".
Wow.
Took him 2 years to recover, so we need it's 2026, so we need till at least 2028 f
Huh.
to join the team.
Huh. Could
We'll
try to
start a
just take some
GoFundMe after this episode, we'll start a GoFundMe for our, procedures.
HGH.
You could do
So,
that.
I don't
You
know.
could do that.
It's all on the table for us, Tom. We just gotta go through with it, that's all. But,
We'll call J.R. Smith, and he'll tell us how to pass the test.
yeah, that's a good point. There you go.
Yeah.
Um, so basically what I'm trying to say with all this is, Leon, for the love of God, pick up the phone and call someone. Anybody. Don't really care at this point who it is. If you gotta make it a 3-team trade, please. Obviously, we prefer you pick up the phone and call the Bucks for Giannis, but at this point, I can't watch this guy play anymore.
Call Memphis.
And yeah, they were
Call Memphis.
talking about getting Jaren Jackson Jr. That would be better than
I
what
would
we
love
have
that
right
too.
now. It would be.
I
But
would love that.
yeah, I mean, Dom, the Knicks are rumored to be interested in Jrue Holiday, which would be great for Jalen Brunson. But it could also, be great for Giannis, who has expressed his desire to go to NY. Uh, but with the trade deadline approaching, the Knicks need to be strategic on how they're going to get rid of Cat because he is just not going to win you a championship here. So, with all that said, Dom, you can give your analysis on everything now.
30 seconds before we aired this episode number 31, I said to Chris, "We haven't been to a Knicks game in a while. We should try and go soon." Chris is like, I mean, I'm sort of the same way. We're like, "Why would we go?" Like, "Why would we spend money on this team?" But no matter what, we're fans. It's gonna be a fun time no matter what. We'll go, we'll pay attention to the game and also get drunk too. So that would also be very fun. So we're like, oh shit, the Pistons are coming to town soon. The lowest ticket was $310. I'm not doing that. Are you?
I'm not paying that.
I don't think. more than I don't think 75% of Knicks fans would do that right now. If this was last year, people would do it in a heartbeat. Not this year.
Mhm.
Going back to your point of if we're interested in Jrue Holiday, that means we're gonna have to give up Mikal as well, no matter what.
Whatever.
No matter what, it'll have to be Mikal. It'll be a three-team trade. It would be Mikal, Cat, maybe even Deuce, or someone of high caliber like that, because I don't even think that's enough. If it's a three-team trade, it's gonna have to be even throughout all three teams, and we don't have the draft picks, so we're gonna have to get someone else from another team, either the Bucks or another team, maybe Portland is gonna have to give up their draft picks, and they're gonna need a good haul in return. But
Mhm.
hey, a defense of Drew Holiday and Giannis and OG on the court and Mitch, that's music to my ears.
So do you think that them trying to trade for Drew Holiday would seriously entice Giannis to request a trade to New York? Or, do you think just getting Drew Holiday, that's great. Good addition. Try to get Cat out of here. Try to really figure something out for the rest of the season going into the potential playoffs. I mean, how do you see that working out? Could that actually be formulated in certain way?
It wouldn't make sense without Giannis.
Right.
No, there's no Drew Holiday for we get a point guard for trade our center. That doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah. So
And
three-team trade, Knicks, Portland, and Milwaukee?
you would have to be.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know they want to win another championship, both of them. Even
Mhm.
though Drew won two and Giannis he won one, he wants more. He wants to add to his resume. The Knicks want to win. Leon wants to win. Jalen wants to win. Josh Hart wants to win.
Yeah.
I said his name because he has no pun intended the most heart on the team and has the most
Mhm.
hustle, and you can just tell by the way he plays that he wants to grind his way to a championship, an NBA
Right.
championship, not a college championship.
Mhm. Exactly.
We need that.
Yeah.
This is what the city needs.
Yeah.
This is what especially our borough, we need it, especially
Mhm.
with, how the Mets have been these past years besides last year. The Yankees have done nothing. I mean, they lost in the World Series. Giants and Jets have been shit. We need this.
Yeah.
This is what will make our winter a little bit more worth it.
Well, I could tell you that the Giants, I mean, we're gonna get into the NFL shortly here. I mean, the Giants definitely have, the light shining at the end of the tunnel with getting John Harbaugh. The Jets, I mean, I'm gonna talk about the Jets a little bit, not much, coming up here, but I agree with you. Right? We need the Knicks to try to figure something out because, like you said, all these other New York sports teams, they're just not cutting the mustard in terms of bringing a championship home. So the Knicks really have to formulate a plan. They have to find a way. If you can get Drew and Giannis here, that would really just revamp. Then after that, after a few games, then Dom, we could start chit chatting about possibly maybe spending a couple of $100 on a ticket or whatever it's going to cost. But I said it to you before we started airing the episode, if they don't make the proper moves before the trade deadline and we're stuck with this cat guy and everything else that is coming with the team, I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, there is just no way I'm going to spend $300 on a ticket to go to a Knicks game. It's just not going to happen. So they have to make the proper moves first, make sure that they can actually contend with a roster post trade deadline that can get them to where they want to be. And then we could talk about maybe going to a game and spending, MSG valued money with everything that comes with it. MSG gives 50% off for, you know, Chase debit and credit card holders. So that's nice. But tickets are still too expensive. Me and Dom have done it a few times, but just the product on the court right now is just not doing it for me.
Right.
and Mike Brown's got to figure it out, but Leon's got to pick up the damn phone and try to see what he can work out with other organizations.
So let's say this trade happens. We end up getting Jrue Holiday and Giannis, and we trade whoever the fuck we trade, right? Giannis is going to be out for at least a month, but we'll have Jrue Holiday. How do you think we would do in that month without Giannis? And let's say without Cat.
Oh, I think we'd be fine.
You think we'd be all right?
Yeah, Cat sucks. I think we'd be fine. I mean, let's be real. As I just read you the numbers, he was on the bench, and they were playing some of their best basketball since what, New Year's Eve, even the NBA Cup. I mean, Dom, the numbers speak for themselves. They played the Sixers. The Sixers aren't trash. It's not like they played, I don't know, the Hornets or the Nets or what's another bad team? I mean, the
The Wizards
Dallas Mavericks, who they didn't play well against the Dallas Mavericks recently.
got
So
killed.
they played the Sixers. Okay. The Sixers, I don't know if they played last night. After the Knicks beat them by 3, the Sixers were 24-20. I don't know if they had a game recently. I would have to look at the standings here. Let's see what it says. Okay, they lost again. So they're 24-21. But they're not a bad team. They have a fantastic backcourt, or I should say front court, of VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, who you've deemed one of the better backcourts in the NBA. They still have Joel Embiid. They still have Kelly Oubre. So they're not a shit team. So those numbers, I mean, they're interesting and they're honestly concerning, 50% concerning, 50% intriguing. Because the 50% intriguing is if you do get rid of Cat, this is what you can expect post Cat trade. But also 50% concerning because if they don't trade Cat and he's on the court and he's not on the bench, you're not going to see those numbers that I just laid out for you in that picture. So
Yeah.
it's a whirlwind of shit. But I think they'd be fine. If Giannis was out for a month, but they have Jrue Holiday and they don't have Cat, I think Hawk Porty would get more time. They would develop him a little more. They would take his development more seriously. And, and maybe Diawara would get more run. Other guys, maybe Kevin McCullough. If he doesn't get traded in the package, who knows who would be in the package, but that's how I see it.
Because of how this team is and what we've seen from Tyler Kolek as of late, it hasn't been that great. It hasn't been that good
No.
at all,
Mm-mm.
but that doesn't matter. You need to play him. You
I
gotta
know.
keep playing him
I know. I
just
agree.
because of how this team is. You know, I mean, if it was Tibbs, he would barely play anyway, even if the team was doing bad. But just because of how this team is, he needs to of how it's structured, this team, he needs to play. He can't be rotting on the bench. We can't afford it.
So how do you? So what's your take then? If Giannis is out for a month and we have Jrue and Cat's not here, how do you think they're gonna do?
I, I don't I don't think that great because that means we'd have Yabusele, right? If he's not involved in this deal,
Right.
he would be our backup center.
No, he'd still be a backup power forward.
Then we'd
They,
have
they would
Mitch.
they would give
You
Huck 40 run.
you give Huck Porty,
Yeah,
which I mean, yeah, they would. I mean, do you have faith in Huck Porty? From what
I
I've
do.
seen, I
I do. I
a
listen. There's more work to be done with him. There's more
lot,
development work.
a
But
lot.
yeah, I know. But hey, Tom, you just said it.
Yeah,
Kolek's got to play, right? He's
he
got
needs
more development work. So
he needs to play. 'Cause we've seen what he can do. I mean, especially on Christmas, the way he lit up the garden. We need that.
hmm
We need
listen,
all the momentum. We need all the passing we can get because there clearly isn't any on this team. He can run the floor. We need structure when it comes to this offense and defense for sure. But Even the offense doesn't even look great either, and that's what we're supposed to be known for.
It's a shame that Mikal Bridges is not doing what he was doing at the beginning of the year, and this is why I said I'll evaluate him after New Year's Day because usually 2 months in, guys are starting to show what they will be for the rest of the year. And okay, yes, draft picks, we don't know what these kids will become, but they were a lot, and he got traded for a lot, and he's got to show something. And yes, if he can show at least what he was doing in the highlighted games last season in the playoffs against the Celtics, listen, then yes, it's great. Then he's an awesome trade. He's a great acquisition, but even his defense is slacking a bit. The work ethic, I'm not seeing it fully, and he's gotta pick it up, otherwise, I'm not gonna be too upset if he's part of the trade package, so,
For
I don't know.
Giannis, I'd ship him right now. I'd take Mikal to the airport.
That's crazy. For a guy who wanted him extended and was vouching for
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
extension? Wow, look at
For
that.
Giannis, I'd be an
Yeah,
idiot.
yeah, I see that, yeah, I know, but still, I don't know, I'm just saying, you're a big advocate of Mikal Bridges, I'm just saying, you know?
I should not even belong on this podcast if I wouldn't do that.
Alright, makes sense. Anything else you have to say before we move on?
Uh, I just need this trade deadline. I wish it was today.
I know.
I
Hey,
wish it was today.
listen.
This is killing me because well, this has been talked about for not even this year, probably 2 years now.
Yeah,
This
it
has been
has.
talked about. This isn't something new,
Mm-mm.
and
No.
with Leon, you don't hear a peep.
Mm-mm.
Like you
No.
don't hear an offer. You don't hear anything. It just happens.
Yeah.
So we're really just here in suspense.
He doesn't speak to the press ever. He hasn't spoken to the press since 2020.
Yeah, I like it.
No,
I
I
like
don't
it.
mind it. I
I
mean,
don't mind it
listen,
at all.
you don't mind it if things are okay, but if things are going a little bit off the rails
Oh
and you
yeah,
need to, you're looking to hear from them, that's where people start getting annoyed. But though, if he recognizes there's an issue and he acts on it, then okay. Then yeah, it's fine that you don't speak to the media, really ever. So yeah.
he's realistic.
Hmm.
He knows that there is a timetable.
Of
It's
course.
not like, "Oh, all these guys are extended, they're gonna be here for a while, we have plenty of time." You can't promise that,
Yeah,
especially
I
with all
know.
these injuries that happen in the NBA.
And isn't that funny? They were saying, "Oh, Cat, Brunson, Hart, blah blah blah, 3-year window." Now they're like, just get him out, get Cat out of here." And I'm one of them, but
You gotta win now.
right, but I didn't fully agree though with a 3-year window. And remember, we were talking about all the money that was locked up for the Knicks, all the money locked up for OKC, but OKC won it all already. And they look great this year. They look like they're poised to do it again, frankly. So, a little different when you talk about 3-year windows. The 3-year window at OKC is a hell of a lot different than 3-year window, with the Knicks. So, I'll just leave it at that. I'll end it on that. But
Shout out Sam
anything
Presti.
else? Dom, do you have anything else to say before I go to the NFL?
All good.
All right. So, now with the NFL, Super Bowl Sunday, vastly approaching. It's a little less than 2 weeks away. It's gonna be the Seahawks against the Patriots. I mean, just sickening for Jets fans to have to see the Patriots go to the Super Bowl again with the Jets not doing anything in 15 years. Really, the last time when they did beat the Patriots 15 years ago, since that win over them in the divisional game, Patriots have been winning Super Bowls, appearing in the Super Bowl, and the Jets haven't done jack shit. So there's that for you. But that's going to be the Super Bowl Sunday. Dom, you can give, I guess, your small prediction now. We'll do another one next week. But who do you got in this one?
I got Seahawks.
So do I.
I got Seahawks winning. Their offense is too good. I just am a little nervous because of the oblique injury with Sam Darnold, but he has 2 weeks to recover, so he should be alright. He should be good to go. Um, I hate to be that guy, but I think the Patriots had the easiest path to the Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Come regular season and even come postseason. It was way too easy. even before the season started, people were looking at the Patriots schedule like, "What?
Mhm.
This is nothing. This is
Yeah.
absolutely nothing."
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And, I don't even think they'd be here if Bo Nix was playing.
Not a chance.
So,
Not a chance.
the Seahawks are way too good. JSN having an incredible year. Cooper Kupp had a good game last game, even though he hasn't really done much. Um, Kenneth Walker looks like he's back. Ever since, Charbonnet tore his ACL, he's looking incredible. I mean, he looked good all postseason. So, they got weapons. They got a
Yeah.
lot of weapons.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think the Seahawks are gonna whoop that ass. I'm gonna be honest. Like you said, Patriots' path was too easy. Regular season schedule was too easy, and then in the playoffs, it was a little too easy. And if Bo Nix played, yeah, Patriots wouldn't be here. So I agree with you 100%. And I have the Seahawks winning. And also, it came out that um, Drake May has a bit of a throwing shoulder injury, so he's dealing with
Really?
something as well. Yes.
Wow.
So and of course, Mike Vrabel was like, "Hey, everyone's not 100% healthy," which he is right. Nobody is at this time of the year, this time of the season. So, hey, listen, you got to keep tabs on the injuries for both quarterbacks. But I have the Seahawks in an absolute ass whooping. But we'll analyze that a little bit more next week. We'll give another prediction, see maybe if that changes next Tuesday. But Dom, you go first with the Giants. I mean, this has got to be pretty exciting, for next season. I know we already talked about John Harbaugh a fair amount last week, but I don't know if you have anything else to touch on it about it. But if I'm a Giants fan, I'm pretty stoked
Yeah.
for next year.
Well, before any Giants news, a little breaking NFL news: the Bills hired Joe Brady as their next head coach.
Mm.
So he was the offensive coordinator for the Bills since 2023, and they decided to stay in house.
Hmm.
As of 13 minutes ago, they hired Joe Brady. So they're just staying in the family. So let's see how that goes with Josh Allen's progression. Just wanted to
Hmm.
say that real quick.
Yep.
But now with the Giants, yeah, John Harbaugh, what I said during our live, we finally have a foundation, which is something we haven't had in 15 years. It's probably since the last time we won a Super Bowl. I don't think any Giants fan is not excited right now.
Hmm.
Like I said during the live, now there's gonna be fans in the seats. There's gonna be more Giants fans than opposing teams fans. There's gonna be all the season ticket holders, they're not gonna sell their tickets. They're actually gonna show up to games. There's not gonna be empty seats. No matter who's out there, no matter if we draft any a great offensive player, a great defensive player, if we get no free agents, let's say we get zero free agents, there's still going to be a packed house at MetLife this upcoming
Hmm.
season. I'm so excited
Oh
when
yeah.
it comes to him.
Oh yeah.
So you know what? He's gonna make the most out of our guys, out of the most out of Jackson Dart, out of the most of Malik Neighbors when he comes back, Cam Scatterbu when he comes back, Dexter Lawrence. Hopefully, he's more into it this year because it was he just looked like he did not want to be playing football this past season. Do I blame him? Not at all. Abdul Carter is going to come back better than ever. Kayvon Thibodeau, if he's here, hopefully he is. Brian Burns just came off the best year of his career. So let's see how it goes. But every Giants fan is excited, and they should be. And
Hmm.
we deserve this. And as I said last on during the live, it's not a actual victory in the game, but this is our biggest victory since Super Bowl 46 when we won in 2012,
Hmm.
the 2011
I
2012
agree.
season. So,
Yeah, it was.
um,
I was looking. It was February 2012 when the Giants beat the Patriots in that Super Bowl. So I agree with you. John Harbaugh is a fantastic coach. I'm once again, for the 5,000th time, shocked that the Ravens fired this man. Terrible decision. And that owner sounds so foolish at his press conference. But yeah, it's a great acquisition for the Giants. That had to have been their number one choice, of course, as everybody would imagine. And Dom, you were right. Don't let this guy leave the building until you at least have something agreed upon. And they had a plan in place. What was he doing, Dom? He was just going home to what, check out the area, or he left. What was the reason?
He left, but I mean, it just seemed like he wanted just to talk to his family about it,
Right, that's what it was. Yeah.
because he canceled his meetings, with the Falcons and the Titans when he got
Hmm.
home. So
Right.
he knew this was gonna be the place, and then he said, what really got him to come was when he talking to his father.
Hmm.
His father also was a former coach, and, his father said, "You'd be stupid to not take this job."
Right.
He said that
Right.
was, like, his biggest factor of him
Okay.
picking the Giants, which is pretty cool.
Papa Harbaugh. Papa
Yeah,
Harbaugh coming in clutch.
yeah,
There you go.
it's a great
Nice.
football family right there. I
I
mean,
would
hey,
agree.
Jim won with Michigan, that's my college team, and, hey, hopefully John wins for my NFL team, the Giants. That'd be cool. That'd
Yeah.
be that'd be very cool.
Mhm.
So, that's all with John Harbaugh. Now, they cleared house, the Giants. They cleared house, they got rid of their special teams coordinator, they were looking at a DC. They retained their tight ends coach, Tim Kelly, and the interim defensive coordinator, Charlie Bullen. He's back as the linebackers coach, the outside linebackers coach. But the big hire is Denard Wilson as our new defensive coordinator. He was with, well, Chris, you should be familiar with him because he was with the Jets from 2017 to 2020. He was a passing game coordinator and a defensive back coach with the Jets, and he also helped Jamal Adams turn into an All Pro.
Who is this again? What's the name?
Denard Wilson.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. I do remember that. He was pretty good, yeah.
His past last 2 years, he was the Titans defensive coordinator, and then he was also a game coordinator slash uh, defensive backs coach with the Eagles in 2021 to 2022, and then the Ravens 2023. And in the first year as a Titans defensive coordinator, this is some weird ass numbers, by the way. His
Mhm.
first year, they were 30th in points per game and second in yards allowed. Never seen that before. But they were ranked their second ranked defense in 2023. And then last year went to shit. Rushing 26th and passing 21st in passing yards that they gave up. So it wasn't good. But after all this researching and Twitterversing and looking at videos and looking at stats, when I was looking through Twitter when it comes to the Titans fans, they said that you've got a great coach and do not let these numbers fool you. It's just because of the lack of talent on the depth chart that he got fucked over with this defense. So I'm happy about that. And then this
Mm.
past year, they were 12th in sacks, which is more than the Giants. And then when it comes to his playing style, it's all aggressive disguises combined with calculated risks and defenders understanding their passing concepts. So think of it as like controlled aggression. And he's big. He's big on rushing the passer. He's big on press coverage, which is something the Giants did not do at all last year. They were just in zone, what it seemed like every single time, and they didn't disguise anything. Even if you didn't watch football that much, if you're not a big football fan and you watch the Giants, especially
Mhm.
throughout all of last year, this past season, you knew what they were doing. They
Mhm.
didn't they didn't hide a thing. It looked like they were doing the same coverage, same play every single game. So now it seems like that there's actually going to be some disguises, that he's going to be heavy on the rush. But because he's a DB's coach, it seems like now that they're going to be focusing more on the corners and safeties. And that leads me to my next question. With the draft coming up, are we going to get a corner or a defensive back now? Are we going to get a safety? So now it looks like with all these mock drafts that we're either getting Cornell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, or Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State. If I had to pick one, and if I'm getting this defensive coordinator right now, who's known for being a great defensive backs coach and scheming and pressure, I'm getting Caleb Downs,
Mhm. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Before this hire, and I said last episode, you may as well just get the best player available, because that's John Harbaugh. He doesn't have time to, develop anyone, like he wants to win. That's why he's here. You're not going to get like a top rookie who needs time to develop like a year or two in. You need a for sure number one guy at whatever pick you get for number five. But Caleb Downs, that is pretty risky. A safety at five, he better be Charles Woodson. You
Yeah, I
know,
was gonna say
you
he
know
better
he,
be
he
yeah,
better be the
Charles
best safety
Woodson.
we've ever seen.
Yeah,
In
I know.
our 26 years of life for both of us.
Mhm.
So, but it's a big risk, but that's his offense. Big risk, high reward. So
Right.
you may as well take him. If that's
Yeah.
the case, get Caleb Downs.
No, I was gonna say it better be like Champ Bailey, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Charles Woodson, whoever the hell, prime Jamal Adams. He
You know,
better be, Ed Reed, right?
yeah.
Pretty damn good
But like,
if you're gonna take him, but
think of the
uh,
players that he had
mhm,
throughout these past years. He had James Bradbury, he had CJ Gardner
mhm,
Johnson, he had Darius Slay. Back in the day, Jamal Adams.
mhm,
He had Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this guy knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, he's turning these guys into all pros and pro bowlers. So this guy he's not a nobody, he's not a scrub.
No.
He's a great defensive coach, defensive coordinator. And if anyone listens to Giants Nation, if you're a Giants fan, you should listen to Bobby Skinner. Honestly, I wish he was part of like the scouting department. The way that he scouts and does all these breakdown videos on college players, he's incredible. Bobby Skinner, Giants Nation show, great guy. I think every Giants fan should watch him. He's been wanting this defensive coordinator for the past 2 years, and this is all this guy does is watch film,
Mm,
watches the all 22 and everything, and does breakdowns for an hour, 2 hours. He knows what he's talking about, and he said, "I've been wanting this guy even before Shane Bowen."
mhm,
I mean, I wish we did. I wish we, I wish anyone but him. But
yeah.
he seems like a great hire, and you can just from the proof of all these players that I just named, he's going to be a good coach, and hopefully, the scheme that he uses is right for our players.
Yeah, he was always a good coach, especially with the Jets. I do remember, and he's into it. He has a lot of energy, and he gets on his guys. He holds the heat, and this is obviously the biggest thing with any coach. And this is something that I mentioned with the Giants getting John Harbaugh. He makes sure that he keeps them accountable, and that's what every coach should be doing in any league. And he did that a lot, especially with Jamal Adams. And you hold your players accountable. That's what makes them great. And yeah, he did that with Jamal, and he'd definitely be a great pickup, for the Giants, a great hire. But is there anything else you have to say about the Giants and where they're at now and everything they've done thus far?
I was thinking about, well, even before this hire, I said that we should go defense.
Mhm,
We should get like a great corner or a safety or someone like that. There's great receivers everywhere in the draft. We got Wandale in the second round. There's great receivers from at least first round to fourth round. So I don't think we really have to worry that much about receivers, and we also get in free agency. So I
mhm,
definitely say either get a corner or a safety, but best player available, Caleb Downs is my answer.
got it. Okay, gotcha. It's gonna be a risk if they take him, but he's
Big
definitely
risk,
worth
but
the risk. You gotta
definitely
take
worth
risks somewhere.
it. Yep,
You need help. If you can't get a big, trade package for more draft picks with the fifth pick, then yeah, you gotta take the risk. It is what it is. That's the
exactly.
hand that's dealt. All right, so that's everything with the Giants. Unless you have something else you wanted to say. No, you're good.
No good.
All right. So regarding the Jets, they've also had some turnover as well. So Aaron Glenn, after this is from Connor Hughes on SNY. So Aaron, this was 3 days ago. Aaron Glenn, after his first season as head coach, fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes. Wanted that idiot fired a while back. He's finally gone. Defensive line coach Eric Washington, linebackers coach Aaron Curry, QB coach Charles London. That guy must have done a god awful job. Passing game coordinator Scott Turner. So crazy turnover after one season, but this is what it is. And Dom, they're looking at yours truly. They're looking at Wink Martindale as their next defensive coordinator. What is your take on that?
I mean, that's pretty good. That's a great coach. But you do need the right personnel for it. You
Hmm.
know, he's doing all out blitzes.
Right.
You know, he's bringing everyone. He's bringing everyone to the quarterback, and the quarterback better pray to throw that ball quick. You
Yeah.
know, if you have the right personnel for it, it's a great hire. But if not, you're gonna be screwed.
Hmm. And that was the thing that I wanted to get your take on it because me, I think it's a risky hire. I don't. I'm not sold on it. Honestly, they do not have the personnel to run a Wink Martindale defense.
Then
They
don't
don't
get
even
him.
have strong corners right now. They don't have much on defense, period. They really only have Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson, who Jermaine Johnson was recovering from a torn Achilles injury, so he didn't really show what he could do, or at least what he was doing the years before. And Will McDonald, he's really the only guy that can do something. Quentin Williams is gone. Sauce Gardner's gone. Jordan Whitehead wasn't here. Um, he also wasn't here the year before. So they need help. And I do not think they have the personnel to hire Wink Martindale and have him as defensive coordinator. So there'll obviously be other options as time goes on. They're, I'm sure, looking at a bunch of different opportunities and looking at a bunch of different coaches to try to, plug in for defensive coordinator duties. They're also looking at Frank Reich as their offensive play caller. So Tanner Eckstrand would keep the title of OC, but Frank Reich would be calling plays. I don't really get the point of this. Why does Eckstrand keep the title if he's not calling plays? So then he's not the offensive coordinator. I just don't. I don't understand it. So they don't know exactly what
Well,
Tanner Eckstrand's role is going to be next season, but they're saying that he's not going to get the OC title, and Frank Reich is going to be calling plays if he gets hired. But yeah, that's all fine and well with all that. But who's your QB next year? I mean, we don't even know
exactly.
who your quarterback is. So you want to talk about who you're going to bring in to do play calls and all the offensive coordinator duties, but you don't even have a fucking quarterback. So I'm not really sure how you're going to plan all that together because if you're going to try to sell me on having Justin Fields be my quarterback next year, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like I'm gonna be watching, I guess, hockey and another season of basketball and the end of baseball because I'm gonna try my best not to watch football. If I gotta watch Justin Fields try to run around in circles or throw a ball, 50 feet by the wide receiver or throw it all the way out of bounds and just not have any competence in the pocket as a QB. I'm not going to watch any of that garbage. So they need to get a quarterback before they could even try to, you know, put anything in place for offensive coordinator duties and what their roles and responsibilities are. But that's really where I'm at with the Jets. They fired a lot of guys, which we obviously expected. I didn't even want Aaron Glenn back after the first year. Um, but we'll see what Darren Muji does as the GM. But the Jets have a lot of work to do. Super Bowl after the Super Bowl, obviously baseball starts. Me and Dom are excited for that. But after Super Bowl, Jets have to get cracked down on what they're going to do. Try to acquire guys. They have a bunch of cap space, and they're going to have to do right by the draft as well. So we'll see how they do it. I don't really have much to say, Dom, on the Jets.
I mean,
I'm kind of done already. So
yeah, like Dante Moore, he's going back,
yep,
right? He's going back,
yep.
and then the other top prospects are Ty Simpson from Alabama and Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. I mean,
And which school
LSU,
is he from?
Garrett Nussmeier,
Yeah, which school is
LS,
that again?
LSU.
Yeah. I'm not sold on that guy at all. Ty Simpson could be something, but I wouldn't waste a second overall pick on that guy.
Yeah, like I mean, obviously you got Carson Beck, you got
I'm good.
Drew Aller from Penn State, Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina, who's a dual
Yeah,
threat quarterback.
I don't know.
So you guys, I don't know. I honestly don't know who you guys would get because obviously Mendoza's going to the Raiders. That's a given. They're definitely not going to trade. Even if you give them 10 picks, they're not trading that.
I
So
I I really think the Jets should do what the Giants could have been doing if they had continued losing and trade your number 2 draft pick and get more draft picks. Trade down,
yeah, may as
I
well.
mean, because they
And,
need a lot of help.
also, you may
And
need a running back. You don't know what's going to
yeah,
happen with Brees Hall.
I know. They should really try to re-sign him, extend him, whatever, but you do need a second wide receiver, adjacent from Garrett Wilson. So Jets need a lot of help. And the draft and free agency, they really need to be one of the more active teams in all the NFL. So they have the cap space, they have the opportunity, they have the wiggle room to do all the things that they need to do. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But that's everything with me with the Jets, Dom with the Giants. So we're gonna bring it back this week. We figured with the Knicks winning back to back games, they hadn't done that. I just read since December 27th to the 29th. Could you imagine that? That was the
Yeah.
last time they won back to back games after this past Saturday. So, Dom, take a seat. Let's predict. It's Knicks versus Kings tonight. Knicks at Raptors Wednesday. Knicks versus Trailblazers Friday. Knicks versus Lakers on Sunday. What do you got here?
So, all right. So Lakers, Trailblazers, Raptors, Kings. I'll go. I'll go 2-2.
Okay.
I'm say we'll beat the Kings and the Trailblazers, and then we're gonna lose to the Lakers and Raptors.
Okay. So for me, unfortunately, I'm gonna say they're gonna go 1-3.
1-3.
And I'm gonna say the only win, I'm honestly gonna say the only win that they're going to get is tonight. That's it. They only beat the Kings, they lose to the Raptors, they lose to the Trailblazers, they lose to the Lakers. I just as long as Cat is here, and yes, he's not the only problem, but folks, call it how we see it. He's making the most money on the team. So when you make the most money, yeah, it's great. You get all that money, but there's a lot of pressure, a lot of analysis, a lot of just constant, badgering and bickering and criticism that comes your way. He makes the most money on the fucking team.
Yeah.
He's got to show up. And as long as he's here, the Knicks aren't really a winning team and they don't have a winning formula. So I'm going to say 1-3. Win tonight and then lose against Raptors at Toronto. We know the Knicks are on a great road team. Home against the Trailblazers, they lose that. I think Trailblazers come back with a vengeance and they lose at home against the Lakers because the Lakers always give the Knicks fits. The last 2 years, every time they play, beginning of February, the Knicks lose. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go 1-3. I'm wondering, the Knicks did beat the Trailblazers. Yes, right here.
Yeah,
They
they
did.
did.
Yep, on the 11th of this month. Okay. Yeah, 1-3. So that's my prediction. Hopefully I'm wrong. Fuck, hopefully they go 4-0, but I don't see
Yeah.
that happening. They're not good enough for that kind of run.
Yeah. It man,
Um,
it just
mm,
also it just pisses me off. Like OG had a great game.
yeah,
23 points, 10 of
yeah.
15 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. I I've been saying this entire podcast, all God, every single episode. It's so hard to be a two-way like a top two-way player in the league.
Mhm.
It's so hard. But come on, OG, why can't you just do this more often? You know? And also, he should be the number 2 option on this team.
Dom, I don't mean to stop you, but I am gonna say one thing on that. You know why it's so hard to do that consistently?
Because like what, in general or like from the Knicks?
I'm saying for the Knicks.
Why?
There's
What's
there's
that?
not enough. consistent help.
Yeah.
If he had consistent help around him, then they would pick him up. And then once you pick somebody up, they tend to do better as the game progresses. So he's not getting the proper help. And then him not being used to having to be like, say, the second guy, the second top scorer, and having to really put it all out there night in and night out, being the huge reliable player that the Knicks need him to be. I don't think he's fully used to that yet. He's still developing himself. He's looks a lot better on offense. I think this is his best. These are his best offensive numbers in a season so far in his whole career. You know, they're doing everything they can to keep him healthy. So kudos to and shout out to the Knicks medical staff for doing that. But it is hard, and I agree with you. It's aggravating that he can't do it night in and night out. But the people around him aren't doing it night in and night out either. So he's trying to pick himself up along with picking everyone else up. So that kind of answers that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said, but man, you're making $212 million.
You are right on that as well.
So you're 100% right. But man, if you're making all this money, you gotta do
Yeah,
more, man. You gotta do
you're right.
more.
You're right. No, it's true. He's making a lot of money as well. All right. Well, that's really it for predictions and talking about the Knicks on that standpoint. So, is there anything else you have to say, Don, before I wrap up today's episode?
Oh yeah. We didn't talk about this. This has been a rumor for a little bit too. What about Jose Alvarado?
Be nice, but doesn't move the needle for me.
Doesn't either.
It doesn't. It just doesn't move the needle for me. I mean, if they get him, great. It should be on a lower package. They shouldn't have to give up as much, but I don't know. It'd be a nice bench piece, but not anything glamorous and not anything
Yeah,
splash worthy. So, yeah.
that's true.
Hmm.
But yeah. To wrap it up, you know, also I didn't even talk about this with the Giants. They didn't retain their offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo, who is Jermaine Illuminor said on a podcast that he is one of the best offensive line coaches in the league. And we were ranked, I'm sorry, I think we were ranked, I wrote it down here, fourth,
Hmm.
right? Am I right here?
I believe so.
Yeah, the Giants finished fourth in the NFL in pass blocking efficiency with an 87.6 rating. I mean, John, I know you just got hired and I know you want to bring in your guys, but that might be too good of a coach to give up.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm,
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like it.
mm,
I completely forgot to say that earlier. I apologize, but that's not good.
mm,
I don't even know who we're gonna get now
mm,
because the Ravens, I think, just hired somebody also earlier today who was a top O line coach candidate for the Giants. So I don't know. I don't know who we're gonna get, but this offensive line this past year, no matter how shit the record was, this was our best year as an offensive line unit since the 2010s, since
mm,
like early 2010s. So we better get an absolute stud as an O line coach.
mhm.
The Yankees, you got to do more. Clearly, is it going to happen? I doubt it. I guess we'll just wing this year. Just wing it, see how it goes. Yeah, and the Knicks. I'm sure Chris is gonna say the same thing. Call the fucking Bucks and get Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't even care for who at this point anymore. Just get him.
I can second that. I can second that comment. Yeah, for me, Jets have a lot of work to do right when the Super Bowl ends. They got to really piece together some sort of plan, some sort of, formula for them to at least be, not a laughing stock as they are every year, at least look somewhat competitive. So that's number one. I know Aaron Glenn's having a lot of turnover right now. I think he should have turned himself over, frankly, with how bad he was the year before. But, that's obviously on the owner and the GM. In regards to the Knicks, yeah, they really need to try to get rid of Cat. I'm not here to say, oh, give him more time. Hopefully he figures it out. No, no, no. We've been hopeful with the Knicks for years. We haven't seen in me and Dom's lifetime, we haven't seen the Knicks go to a finals. We're trying to get there this year. This is the opportunity. Knicks aren't seizing it enough with the players that they have. Gershon Yabusele needs to go. Cat needs to go. So the Knicks, they need to pick up the phone. They gotta see what package fits the best. Leon Rose is a smart man. He's gonna know what is, what a viable option is, what the correct package is, and what isn't. What's too much of an overhaul, what's not, what's fair. So I think Leon Rose will know what to do in that regard. And lastly, the Mets. Freddie Peralta has his press conference at 2 o'clock today. I'll be watching that. I know this episode will get uploaded at about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow, but for people who are watching this episode that maybe didn't watch it on Tuesday, this would be then yesterday. Since this episode will be up on a Wednesday, you can go watch that. I'll be watching it today, Tuesday at 2 p.m. So I'm excited for that. I've been listening to Freddie Peralta speak. I got to tell you, English is pretty great. I didn't know he was going to be that good at speaking English, but he is. And he sounds like a great guy. Sounds like a very friendly guy and somebody that even me and you, Dom, will get along with. Very down to earth. So that's great. But the Mets should still look to try to get Framber Valdez if he only wants. No, I shouldn't say want. If it would only require a 1 to 2 year deal, I would still look at him and see if you can add him to your roster. More pitching. You can never have enough pitching, as they always say in baseball. And so having another guy on your roster would be great, especially a workhorse like him. And that's really it right now. Super Bowl is coming up. I'm going to Florida this upcoming Friday for about 4 days. That's going to be great. Going to be able to see my brother and my sister-in-law and finally meet their adorable German Shepherd dog Theo. That's going to be awesome. So I'm going to enjoy that, but we will be back next Tuesday, regular day, regular time. So that's it from me. Dom, how about you? Are you good?
All good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning into today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.